welcome back to Mrs. That Fact. So last video we were talking about that guano and all the beautiful benefits that it has. But we're going to be focusing on that throughout the week because there's just so much use for bat guano. Now I'm going to give you the explosive truth about guano and how it is viable today, as well as back in the U.S. history. So consider this a That U.S. history session because it does play a major role in our history as well as something that can be utilized today. Now let's say that you're in a war, right? And you have guns but no bullets. What do you do? No. The cool part is guano is actually used to make gunpowder. It's a wonderful source of saltpeter, which is one of the main three ingredients in gunpowder. Now there's two other ingredients in gunpowder, which is sulfur and charcoal, right? Which is pretty easily attainable. Guano actually contains up to 15% of saltpeter, which is more than most natural resources. Now guano was used to make gunpowder as early as the 17th century, right? So it's been around for a very, very long time. It was especially important during the American Civil War, actually. That was back when the Union blockade of the South cut off the Confederacy supply of saltpeter from other countries. So they had to kind of get inventive, right? And figure out how they could supply themselves during this war. So the Confederacy mined guano in caves in Virginia and other states to produce saltpeter for gunpowder. Now, today though, gunpowder is no longer used as a major source of saltpeter for gunpowder. However, it is still mined for other uses such as fertilizer and animal feed. Animal feed, again, would be another video in the future. But it's really cool because, you know, it really helped them to move forward during the war, right? And yes, though I gave you the three main ingredients, I'm not going to break it all down for you. Crazy as the world is, I don't need anybody going out there and blowing each other up or eating cow. So we're going to stay off that topic and just talk about guano in general. Now here's some of the reasons why guano is a good source of saltpeter. It is naturally occurring, so it does not have to be manufactured at all. It's just naturally in, right? So how wonderful is it that you just have the natural properties that you need to be able to make gunpowder? Pretty cool, right? And it's also relatively abundant, especially in, you know, different areas, like the leaves, you know, like there's so many that, and different other parts of the world. So like, it's never a short supply, right? You have that naturally within your country. Like, pretty awesome stuff. It's also relatively easy to extract the saltpeter from the guano, right? There is a method to it. Like I said, I'm not going to be giving out those kind of details because, Lord knows, we don't need some crazies making some crazy things and doing crazy things. You know, we'll leave that up to professionals to do, and if they decide they ever want to use it in the future. So, some of the drawbacks, though, using guano as a source of saltpeter is that it can be contaminated with like substances like bacteria or heavy metals. And that can be very detrimental to your health, right? It can also be expensive to transport and to process. So like I said, there's a whole scientific method that goes into it. You can transport it and everything, you know, can be very costly. The mining of guano can damage the environment as well too. You know, whether it gets into the air or we're extracting the natural resources. I believe that guano plays a part in the environment when it comes to where it lays and what it does, right? And we'll go a little bit more into the health effects of it later on in future some videos. So overall, the guano is a great source of saltpeter, but it's not the only option. There are other natural resources of saltpeter, such as chili saltpeter, I think that's what they call it. And there's also synthetic sources of saltpeter, which tends to be used in niche. The best source of saltpeter will depend on the specific needs of the application. So like I said, there's a lot of information that really goes into it, but you know, it's just a very beautiful process. We call it the original blending powder, right? So can you imagine if you can make gunpowder from the gunpowder and how to keep the bullets are used for, you know, explosives and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things you can use it here in Belize, here in Belize, they have quarries, right? Everybody has quarries, so we get up a bunch of dirt and rock and, to get our fight and everything. And it can be used to help explode and break up some of that content in the earth for them to be able to dig. Not that I'm encouraging it, I'm just saying that it is an option that can be done as well, whether it's demolition or what have you. There's so many different uses. So the saltpeter, again, is just a very essential part that is naturally produced inside of bat guano, and it has a lot of different uses today as well as back in history. And again, we don't use it today for those reasons, for war raising, because they have other methods that they currently use, right? But it is an option. It is something that has been used for centuries and is never a short supply. So if we ever find ourselves in a situation where we're running low on saltpeter and we have no way to make the gunpowder or the explosives that we need to be able to survive, and Lord forbid if there's a war, there's just no sense in it other than ego, right? That's a whole other topic that is not necessarily that focus. So we're going to leave that part alone. But even if we kill the bats or the bats start declining, we lose a natural resource that actually gives us an empowerment and a lot of different means for protection, production, and different things like that in the uses. And later this week we're going to be going into some more uses for guano, as well as safety risks, and that's why I always put a little bit of things to be cautious for when it comes to guano. Because, there are a lot of risks involved. I know I had mentioned on my last video about plasmosis, but there's a lot of safety risks that are involved. We're going to go into more detail about that, like how to protect yourself, exactly what histoplasmosis does, and different things like that. I know, like, all over the world, bats get into your homes and things like that. And there's a lot of signs to watch out for, I've mentioned as well. And, cough and fever and different things like that. Just because you have a season or common cold or things like that. And, then breakouts and it gets really bad. So these are definitely signs you want to watch out for. So please don't handle the bat guano if you don't know what you're doing. Call an expert to take care of that. It's better to spend a little money to have it taken care of the proper way than to, do a quick fix that doesn't really fix your problem. It's exposing yourself, your children, your animals. And, we definitely want everybody to stay safe and not get sick. And that's what we're here for. So definitely contact one of us bat specialists. Mrs. Bat is not the only person out there. There's other companies out there besides the bat removal. You just have to look for them in your local area. That's always Google, right? So just make sure that you do your research, call a professional, invest in your homes, because it's better to spend a little bit of money having it done the right way than to spend a ton of money trying to recuperate the health that you could have secured by intervention. So let's continuing dancing to Bat Facts. Thank you so much for subscribing, following us on TikTok, sharing our videos, and good luck on the next cash giveaway. Let's go dance for some Bat Facts.
Lockdown, pull up at the spot with the top down. Lockdown, 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 lockdown. Yeah, let's go golf at the site now. Lockdown, 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 lockdown. Ice on my neck looking frost out. Lockdown, 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 lockdown. Chains on my neck look like water. Ice on my neck looking frost out. They forever gon' hate on the kid. Cause I got the gang on lockdown. Ride through your city with the top down. Talking on my name, get you knocked out. Oh, they won't war, but they ain't ready. Hit up the goon and they duck out. Came out the gutter, came a long way. Ride for my brother, yeah, my boy Tate. And no black, I ain't forget about you. Keep working hard and that 1K. And free, keep your head up. Keep pushing, you'll make it one day. Keep pushing, you'll make it one day. Pushing, you'll make it one day.